They've worked with me, yeah. That's
Not all of them are your friends.
No, because, I mean, some are important, you know?
Well, let's go through
like Meryl Streep, that's an important person.
She's important, but is she not your friend, Meryl?
I love her.
Oh, but not
I don't know. I mean, I don't see her very often. She doesn't call.
At 79, Diane Keaton has just revealed a surprising truth about celebrity friendships in Hollywood, challenging common perceptions. You might think you understand how Hollywood operates. Those red carpet hugs, Instagram posts filled with heart emojis, and interviews in which stars rave about their amazing co-stars and lifelong friendships. However, Diane Keaton has exposed what happens behind the scenes, a performance that rivals those on camera. Her revelations about which celebrities she has never truly been friends with will change how you view every Hollywood relationship from now on. The truth about Hollywood friendships. Let's be real for a moment. Diane Keaton has been in this industry for over 5 decades. She has worked with everyone from Woody Allen to Jack Nicholson, as well as Steve Martin and Keanu Reeves. She has attended more premieres, rap parties, and award shows than most of us have had hot dinners. So, when she talks about which celebrities aren't her friends, it's safe to say she knows what she's talking about. What truly sets Diane apart from most Hollywood veterans is her refusal to play the game. While other stars carefully craft their public personas and pretend that every co-star is their best buddy, Diane has always been brutally honest. Perhaps it's because she comes from a different era, or maybe it's simply that at 78, she doesn't care about burning bridges anymore. Either way, her recent shocking revelations about celebrity friendships are a testament to her courage and authenticity. The whole discussion began during a recent interview when she was asked about maintaining friendships in Hollywood, rather than giving the usual diplomatic answer about how wonderful everyone is. Diane went completely off script. She started naming names, calling out fake friendships, and exposing the reality of how lonely it can be at the top. The Warren Batty situation. Let's start with Warren Batty, because this story is quite surprising. For years, people believed that Diane and Warren were close friends. They worked together, attended events side by side, and the media often portrayed them as having a deep connection. However, according to Diane, that perception was misleading. She explained that working with someone and being friends with them are 2 completely different things. With Warren, their relationship was purely professional. They would show up, perform their scenes, and that was the extent of it. No socializing after work, no phone calls to chat, and no meaningful personal connection whatsoever. What makes this even more intriguing is that Warren Batty has a reputation for being a charming, magnetic personality that everyone wants to be around. Yet, Diane saw beyond that facade. She described him as someone who was always performing, even when the cameras weren't rolling. Every conversation felt like an audition, and every interaction seemed carefully calculated for some kind of advantage. Diane mentioned that she attempted to connect with him on a personal level a few times, but it never succeeded. It felt like she was talking to a character rather than a real person. Eventually, she accepted that their relationship would remain strictly professional, and frankly, she seemed relieved by that realization. The Meryl Streep revelation. This might surprise some people, as Meryl Streep is often regarded as everyone's favorite in Hollywood. Everyone loves Meryl, right? Well, not quite, according to Diane. Diane revealed that she and Meryl have never been friends, despite the assumption that they must be close, given that they are both legendary actresses from the same era. Diane explained that they have always moved in entirely different circles. While Meryl was known for her serious dramatic roles and collecting Oscars, Diane focused on comedies and romantic films with a different crowd. However, the divide runs deeper than just their career paths. Diane hinted at an underlying competitive tension between them that made a genuine friendship difficult. It wasn't the healthy kind of competition that encourages growth. Instead, it was the uncomfortable kind where the media and industry constantly compared them. Diane shared that she always felt the media was trying to pit them against each other, questioning who was the better actress, who was more talented, and who was more successful. Such an environment does not foster true friendships. Although they were always polite to each other at events, their interactions never went beyond surface-level pleasantries. The Jack Nicholson complexity. Here's where things get interesting. Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton have legendary on-screen chemistry, and their films together are considered classics. Their romantic scenes are some of the most memorable in film history, leading many to assume they must be great friends in real life. However, that assumption is incorrect. Diane was surprisingly candid about her relationship with Jack, stating that while she has enormous respect for him as an actor, they were never actually friends. She described him as charming and fun to work with, but also someone who maintained clear boundaries between his professional and personal life. According to Diane, Jack was always friendly on set, but he never invited her into his inner circle. She sensed that he had a core group of friends, mostly fellow actors from his generation, and he wasn't particularly interested in expanding that circle. It wasn't personal, it was simply how he operated. This situation was further complicated by the public's fascination with their on-screen chemistry. People frequently asked them about their relationship, assuming there must be some romantic history or deep friendship. Diane explained that the reality was much less exciting. They were just two professionals who worked well together and then went their separate ways. The Woody Allen complexity. Now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, Woody Allen. Diane has worked with Woody more than almost any other director, and their professional relationship spans decades. But when it comes to friendship, Diane's answer might surprise you. She revealed that despite all their collaborations, she and Woody were never really friends in the traditional sense. Their relationship was always centered on work. They'd spend months together making a movie, developing characters, and creating these incredible films. But once the project was done, they'd barely speak until the next one. Diane explained that Woody is incredibly focused when he's working, but he's also quite private and doesn't socialize much outside of work. She said she learned early on not to take it personally when he didn't invite her to dinner parties or call to chat. That's just not who he is. However, what makes this complicated is that their working relationship was so intense and creative that it felt like a friendship, even though it wasn't. Diane said she probably knows Woody better as an artist than almost anyone, but she doesn't know him as a person, and she's made peace with that. The modern Hollywood problem. According to Diane, the issue of fake friendships has significantly worsened in the modern era of social media. She pointed out that today's celebrities often feel pressured to portray themselves as best friends with everyone they work with, as fans expect to see those relationships played out on platforms like Instagram and Twitter. She recalls that when she was starting, it was possible to work with someone, be professional and respectful, and then go your separate ways without anyone questioning why you weren't constantly together. However, now, if two co-stars aren't regularly posting pictures together and commenting on each other's social media, people tend to assume there must be some sort of drama or feud. Diane believes that the pressure to perform in friendships is making it harder to form genuine relationships in the entertainment industry. When you're constantly worried about how others will perceive your relationships, it becomes challenging to be authentic and sincere with them. The loneliness factor. One of the most candid observations Diane made was about the loneliness that can exist in Hollywood, particularly for women of a certain age. She explained that as one ages in this industry, it becomes apparent how few genuine friendships one has. Diane noted that many of the people she considered friends in her youth were, in fact, just professional acquaintances who were present because it benefited their careers. Once those advantages faded, so did many of those relationships. She revealed that some of her closest friends today are not in the entertainment industry. They are individuals she met through various interests, people who knew her before she became famous, or those who genuinely do not care about her celebrity status. The real friendships. It's not all bad news, though. Diane talked about the few genuine friendships she has managed to maintain in Hollywood and what makes them special. She noted that her true friends in the industry are those who check in on her when she's not working, remember her birthday without needing reminders from their assistants, and would still be a part of her life even if she retired tomorrow. She emphasized that these friendships are precious because they are so rare. They have endured decades of industry ups and downs, personal challenges, and all the unique pressures that come with fame. Diane's revelations highlight how the entertainment industry creates an illusion of community and friendship, while the reality is often much more transactional. What the public perceives as friendship is frequently just professional networking, disguised as personal relationships. This doesn't imply that celebrities are bad people. It's simply part of an industry where career success relies on maintaining good relationships with many people. However, it does suggest that genuine friendships are much rarer and more valuable than most realize. Diane's candidness about this issue is refreshing, as it reminds us that celebrities, like everyone else, are navigating complicated professional and personal relationships. The only difference is that they do so under public scrutiny and with millions of dollars at stake. At 79, Diane Keaton has earned the right to speak candidly about Hollywood, and her insights into celebrity friendships offer a rare glimpse behind the glamorous facade. Click here to discover which other Hollywood legends are finally sharing the truth about their famous co-stars.